What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about how to auto reload your browser whenever you make changes to your code. One of the great things about using Gulp is its compatibility with another tool called BrowserSync. So what this means is whenever we make a change to our code, whether it's CSS or JavaScript or PHP files, your web browser will be automatically reloaded. It's part of the automation process and is part of simplifying your workflow. Alright, so let's get started. You're going to have to start up your local server. I'm using MAM for this. And then we're going to use our code editor. I'm using the Visual Studio Code. Now what I'll also do is I'll open up a web browser. Alright, so here I have my DevWP, which is a developer training theme that I'm using to show people how to code a custom WordPress theme. I created previous videos on it, and in those videos I used Bootstrap 3. But now I'm using Bootstrap 4, so I'm recoding this entire theme from scratch. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you're interested in learning how to create custom themes that you could use for your website, for your clients' websites, or if you want to sell themes to the general public. But I'm going to be using this as a demonstration for the BrowserSync functionality. So I'm going to go back to my code editor. So what we have to do is I'm going to open up my package.json file, and I have my gulpfile.js. Just as a recap, there were two other videos within this playlist on how to use Gulp. The first video was dedicated to installing Gulp on your computer. The second video was dedicated on how to use Gulp SaaS. And the upcoming videos are going to be dedicated to adding more functionality when it comes to concatenating your files, minifying your files, optimizing your JavaScript and your CSS, improving the performance of your website by optimizing the file size of your images, and things of that nature. So we're going to be doing a lot. So that's why BrowserSync is going to be very helpful. Alright, so I have my command line over here. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy using Visual Studio Code. Gives you the ability to have your files up here, your command line on the bottom, and you can split the view of your text editor so you can have one file open on one side and another one on the other side. There's some other great text editors as well. Atom.io is another great one. But let's get started over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our npm install --save-dev. You become very familiar with that. Space and then browser-sync. So make sure your syntax is correct. npm for node package manager, install --save-dev, and then BrowserSync. And then you should see it pop up within our dev dependencies section right there. Alright, so we have it installed. And you see that it's installed up here in our dev dependencies. And this is the version number right here. So let's jump over to our gulpfile.js. And we're going to have to do the same thing for BrowserSync that we did over here for Gulp and SaaS. So I'm just going to copy this line here to make it go faster. This variable is going to be called BrowserSync right there, BrowserSync. And we're going to require browser-sync. And then outside of it, this is going to be a little bit different than what we've done so far because we're going to put in a period and then create. Alright, so we have the variable BrowserSync, require BrowserSync, period, create, and this is the syntax like that. Alright, we're also going to go down here and do another one, var reload, and then we're going to type out browser sync.reload. And this is going to be for manual browser reload. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down over here. It's a good habit to put in some common blocks for your various sections. So I'm going to put one over here. Start BrowserSync. And then it's going to be a gulp task. Alright, so inside of the gulp task, we're going to type out browsersync.init. And then I'm going to be using a proxy for this. Okay, so let me bring this down a little bit. All right, so we're requiring BrowserSync, and now we're starting it over here. So we have our gulp task. If you remember, these are the steps we're taking: the var, the task, the source, the dest, and the watch. Now BrowserSync is different than the other ones, so there is no destination, but we will be watching, and we do have a task, and we do have the var, the variable. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna refactor some of this code down here, so that way BrowserSync will work properly with this. So what I'm gonna do is over here within our Sass task, I'm gonna put in some more code. I'm gonna pipe in another command. All right, so BrowserSync works with streams, so you can call reload at specific points during your task. So we're gonna put this snippet over here after our destination snippet up here. And then we're gonna go down here and we're gonna refactor this over here. So I'm just gonna take all this, and what I'm gonna do is over here, instead of saying Sass:watch, I'm just gonna say watch. Then over here after the comma, make some space, put in my square brackets. Then I'm going to call in BrowserSync, comma, and then Sass. Then we have our function over here, gulp.watch, dev.wp. We're going to leave this the same. And then down here, we'll do something a little bit different also. So we're going to create a default task. So what's going to happen here is whenever you start up your code editor in your local server, you can go to the command line and you can set up a default task, meaning that we could just type out the word gulp and then it'll automatically process our information and it'll open up a web browser for us. So I'm going to put in my square brackets there, and the same thing as up here. So I'll just copy this right here, and I'll just put watch at the end and close that off. And you see Visual Studio Code is telling me that I have an error somewhere. So we can take a look at that. And it says I have an error over here on line 29. And it looks like I'm missing a comma. All right, so that's going to go right here. All right, so we're good. So let me just look at this again. We have the var BrowserSync, require BrowserSync, reload. We're setting up our URL over here. Now this could be something different. This could be, if you're on a Mac, this could be localhost :8888 and then dev.wp. But on Windows, this is what it looks like. All right, so this should be good. Now what we're gonna do is go down here to our terminal, our command line, clear the screen. And now what I'm gonna do is, let me bring up the browser over here. Bring this into focus. All right, so now down here, I'm just gonna type out gulp and hit enter or return. It'll process it. And then you see that it opened up another browser window automatically. All right, so that's pretty cool. And you see the URL is a little bit different. So what this means is that you can go on any device, whether it's your iPhone, iPad, or if it's your Android phone or laptop, as long as you're on the same Wi-Fi connection, using this address over here, you should be able to see how the website looks. You're creating your own local internet. All right, so what else can we do here? All right, so since we are watching this, let's see what happens if we go over here. We're gonna go to the Sass folder again, go to the elements, and we're gonna recomment this. Remember we did this before. Let me just change the size of the screen. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna comment this out, and I'm gonna uncomment this. And then I'm gonna save it, and you see it automatically changed to black background. That was an automatic function. Now that's cool. That means you can actually see the changes as they happen, whether you're changing your CSS or if you're changing any other piece of code within your project. Now there's more to it, and in other videos I'll show you more advanced functionalities when using BrowserSync, but this is pretty much how you use it. You set up your default task, so that way when you start up your local server, in your code editor, you can just type out gulp, and it'll automatically process your Sass and open up a web browser for you. And then whenever you make changes, you'll see that happen immediately. Now that's the power of BrowserSync. Again, this video is part of a larger playlist in terms of how to use Gulp, and it leads into another playlist in terms of how to develop WordPress themes. So if this is something you're interested in, definitely subscribe. And I'm going to show you a lot of advanced functionality when it comes to using Gulp and how to streamline your workflow. I mean, look, time is money. And the more time you could save by automating a lot of these lower level tasks, I mean, why should you have to actually refresh the browser every time you want to see a change take place, right? I mean, that should be automated. That's going to end up simplifying your workflow and your overall code efficiency. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification icon down below. If you need a website, visit PixemWeb.com and I'll hook you up. And if you want to learn how to code a WordPress theme, you can get the DevWP starter theme from PixemWeb, and you can follow along with my video tutorials on how to code a WordPress theme. Alright, thanks for watching this video. Again, subscribe, thumbs up, hit that notification icon, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.